Okay, hi everyone. I just want to go over some basics of pencil shading. Some of this is review from earlier classes, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. From our level 1 classes, we got 3 different pencils. And so you got an H pencil, and then you got 2 B pencils, an HB and a 4B. Just going to kind of review some of this. When a pencil has an H on it, it means that it's hard. And when something is hard, it's not going to produce a lot of value. It's actually going to be really light. And so why don't you try just shading a little bit if you have an H pencil and see if you can go from like dark to light. Use short, close, like overlapping marks, and then do less layers to kind of ease up on the pressure, trying to make it as smooth as possible. You're going to find that this doesn't really get very dark. Like it's never going to become a black. If I want to get it lighter, I hold my pencil back a little bit farther, and I still use the tip of a nice sharp pencil in order to get a gradation from dark to light. So just kind of layer and then ease up on the pressure to get lighter and lighter values. So I'll try the HB pencil. You can already see just by writing with it, it's a little bit darker. So keep those marks nice and close. Use the tip of the pencil. If I hold it more vertical, more vertical, you'll even see that it'll fill the tooth of the paper. And you can go from a dark value, fewer layers, and get it nice and light. But notice that there's no streaks visible. You don't see lines in between, right? You're not using the side of the pencil, which kind of looks like a rubbing, right? You want to use the tip of a sharp pencil. And then the last one we used in drawing 1 is a 4B pencil. And this one is pretty soft. The higher the number, the softer it is. That's why a 4B is darker than an HB, which is kind of our middle of the road number 2 pencil. And then you can see that you can get even light with this stark pencil if you do less layers, you hold it kind of back. So when you're shading, you can see I mostly use vertical lines. You can cross shade and go horizontally across. I know some people sometimes like to shade using like curved, like circular patterns. Whatever works for you is fine, as long as it recalls the texture of the object you're trying to create. Okay? If you ever need to make something lighter, you remember you can always use a knead eraser by pushing and lifting up. It'll take some of it off and make it lighter. A lot of times I still have to go back in and rework a section if I use the knead eraser, just so that I get like a gradual transition. When it comes to using a blending stump, I've seen a few different suggestions on this. One of the things that they say not to do is to use it like a pencil. So you'll see that as I'm shading with my pencil, I go up and down to make a value. I'm not picking up the pencil. That's more like hatching. I'm doing it nice and smooth. If you're using the blending stump, they say to go one direction and to barely press to kind of fill in the value. Now you can see that as I use this blending stump, it's kind of smearing what's there. A lot of times you need to go back in on top of it to make the value richer. The blending stump will make it so that you have less of the paper showing, which also makes the color or the value a little darker. Okay, so just be real conscious to make sure that you're not just making it smoky, or that you're not just using the smudginess from the blending stump as a value, right? Make sure that you're going like one direction, right? You can see how you can use a blending stump, the knead eraser. Sometimes when we use a normal eraser, it smears, so it's kind of nice. If you have little things, just use your knead eraser. So when you're doing your exercises from the video, make sure that you're using nice, short, close marks. Use the tip of the pencil rather than the side so that it's a little less sketchy and it's much more refined.